The morning after Lena woke slowly, sunlight pouring through the penthouse windows of the Four Seasons. For a blissful second, she forgot everything. Then it hit. Hershey was married. To Damon Ashford King, a man she had met less than a day ago. She sat up in silk pajamas she had packed for her honeymoon with Nathan. Instead of Hawaii as Mrs. Reynolds, she was in Beverly Hills as Mrs. King. Her phone buzzed. Dozens of missed calls from her mother and Camila. And even unknown numbers, likely reporters. A billionaire's sudden wedding was irresistible gossip. Among the chaos was a text from Damon. "Good morning, Elena. I'll be at my office until noon if you'd like to talk. Breakfast is waiting downstairs. Take your time." D. Even in a message, he sounded considerate. Showered and dressed, she went down to find a table laden with fruit, pastries, and her favorite vanilla latte. How had he known? Camila finally reached her. "Elena, where are you?" "What's going on?" "At the hotel. Damon texted me to meet Elena. Billionaires don't marry strangers out of kindness. Be careful. Find out what he really wants." Her sister was right. Elena called Damon's office. "Mrs. King, please hold," the receptionist said. Hearing the name still startled her. Damon's voice came on warm and steady. "I think we need to talk," she said. "I agree." Coffee shop in Beverly Gardens Park? 30 minutes. At the cafe, Damon arrived in dark jeans and a crisp white shirt, drawing eyes without trying. "Thank you for coming," he said. "Why did you do it?" Elena asked bluntly. "You saved me from humiliation, but no one marries a stranger just out of kindness." He stirred his coffee, hesitating. 5 years ago, I was engaged to Victoria Sterling. Perfect on paper, until I discovered hours before the wedding she'd been cheating for months. Our engagement was just a business deal to her. I called it off, but what haunted me most was imagining her humiliation if the truth had come out differently. Yesterday, when I saw you, I couldn't let you suffer that same pain. His green eyes softened. But it wasn't just sympathy. The way you held yourself strong, graceful, I was drawn to you. Elena flushed but stayed firm. "Damon, yesterday was traumatic. I'm not ready for anything more than friendship." "I respect that," he said quickly. "But since we are married, maybe we should at least try being friends." She agreed, though practical questions loomed. "I can't stay at the hotel forever. I have a house in Manhattan Beach," he offered. "It's large, private. You'd have your own suite and space. No expectations. It was unconventional, but safer than facing reporters alone. Fine but ground rules. Privacy in personal spaces. No intimacy unless we both agree. Complete honesty. Deal." Damon nodded. "And one more, if either of us ends this, we do it respectfully." They shook hands. Electricity sparked at his touch, reminding her of their unexpected kiss at the altar. Then Damon grew serious. "There's something else, media attention. Articles are already online. There'll be photographers, speculation, questions. I'll provide security, but you should know what's coming." Elena exhaled. Life as a teacher had been private, ordinary. Now it was about to be public, scrutinized, unpredictable. Still, Damon's calm steadied her. That evening, he showed her the Manhattan Beach house. Warm, airy, with ocean views, it felt more like a retreat than a billionaire's showpiece. Her suite had its own balcony, private entrance, and enough distance from Damon's wing to ease her nerves. Standing on the balcony, listening to the ocean, Elena felt a surprising peace. 2 days ago, she had been abandoned at the altar. Now, she was married to a man she barely knew, moving into his home. It was insane and yet strangely, felt like the beginning of something she couldn't name, for the first time since Nathan's betrayal. Elena allowed herself a fragile hope. Maybe, just maybe, marrying Damon King wasn't the worst mistake of her life. Maybe it was the start of an entirely different story. Unraveling secrets 3 weeks into their unconventional marriage, Elena was finding a rhythm in her new life. She had returned to teaching. Though the attention from colleagues and students about her sudden billionaire husband made everything surreal, Damon respected her space. Yet their routines of morning coffee and evening talks had become a comfort she quietly cherished. One afternoon, while grading papers, Elena's phone buzzed. Nathan. Her chest tightened. Her ex-fiancé. The man who had left her at the altar. Elena. "Thank God I need to explain," his voice pleaded. "There's nothing to explain." "You made yourself clear 3 weeks ago," she replied. I panicked. "I love you, and I want us back." Elena's anger flared. "Back? You abandoned me in front of 300 people and broke up with a text. Damon was there when you ran. You don't even know him," Nathan argued. "This marriage can't be real." "It's real," Elena said firmly. "And even if it weren't, I'd never go back to you." She hung up, his hands trembling but strangely grateful. Grateful for Damon. "Everything okay?" Damon asked from the doorway, concern etched in his suited frame. Nathan called, "He thinks this marriage isn't real." Damon's expression shifted, troubled. He shut the door. "Elena, there's something I should have told you. Our marriage is legal, but it's tangled in a business complication." Her stomach dropped. "What kind of complication?" "My company is acquiring Sterling Enterprises, Victoria's family business. They're claiming our marriage was staged to sabotage them. They filed an injunction and are threatening to sue us both." Elena's pulse quickened. "Please tell me you didn't marry me for business." "Absolutely not," Damon said, kneeling before her. "It's coincidence, but it looks bad. I swear I'd never use you like that." She searched his face and found only honesty. "No, you wouldn't. But this means months of scrutiny, doesn't it?" "Yes. Media, investigations, maybe worse." "I never wanted you caught in this." Elena sat quietly, absorbing it. "Anything else you haven't told me?" Damon hesitated. "Something personal. About us." He looked out the window, voice softer. "I'm falling in love with you." Elena froze. His words unlocked the truth she had been avoiding since Nathan's call. "This marriage has become real to me too. I can't imagine life without you." Damon cupped her face. "Are you sure? Once we cross this line, nothing's the same." Instead of answering, she kissed him. It wasn't the polite kiss of their wedding, it was weeks of unspoken feelings. When they parted, breathless, she whispered, "I'm sure. Whatever comes, we'll face it together." "I love you, Elena King. I love you too." Damon. That evening they sat on the beach watching the sunset. Elena leaned on his shoulder, her heart full. "When this Sterling mess is over, will you marry me again? For real this time? Just us?" Damon smiled, holding her tighter. "I'd marry you every day for the rest of my life, under the stars." Elena knew their story, born of betrayal, was now something real and unshakable. The abandoned bride had found not just love, but a partner strong enough to weather any storm. The truth revealed 2 months after their courthouse wedding turned real. Elena and Damon were balancing romance with the chaos of a public legal battle. The Sterling lawsuit dominated headlines. Tabloids questioning Damon's motives and Elena's role. One morning, Damon's assistant Patricia called. "Victoria Sterling wants a private meeting. She claims she has information that could resolve the lawsuit." The thought of meeting Damon's glamorous ex-fiancé unsettled Elena, but she agreed. That evening, she found Damon on their balcony, brooding over the ocean. "Second thoughts?" she asked. "Not exactly. I just hate dragging you into this meeting, Victoria. Won't be easy." Elena squeezed his hand. "I don't care about her as your ex. I care about what she might try to do to hurt us. Whatever she says, we'll handle it together." The next day, they met Victoria at Damon's law firm. She was strikingly beautiful but carried a brittle edge. "Damon," she greeted coolly, then turned to Elena. "So, you're the woman who stole my fiancé's heart." Former fiancé, Elena corrected. "And his heart wasn't yours when we met. You'd already thrown it away." Victoria smirked and slid a folder across the table. "I'll drop the lawsuit and declare the acquisition legitimate in exchange for Elena divorcing Damon, plus a generous financial settlement." The room went silent. Elena stared, stunned. "You can't be serious," she said finally. "Let's be realistic," Victoria replied smoothly. This marriage began as a cover when Nathan abandoned you. Damon's honorable enough to let you go. And you never asked for this scrutiny? I'm offering you freedom and security. Alina rose, trembling with anger. You don't understand us at all. Protecting someone you love isn't a sacrifice, it's a privilege. And I'd give up everything to stay married to Damon. What we have is worth more than your money, threats, or your warped idea of love. She turned to Damon. I won't sit here with someone who thinks our marriage is for sale. At the door, she added sharply, Damon never loved you because you never deserved his love. Alina stormed out, heart pounding. She had never spoken so fiercely, but she knew every word was true. 20 minutes later, Damon joined her in the car, eyes shining. That was magnificent. Remind me never to get on your bad side. Did she drop the lawsuit? She did. Your defense of us convinced her and her lawyers that continuing would only make them look bitter. Relief washed over Alina. Damon squeezed her hand. What you said about sacrificing everything, you meant it. Of course, he smiled and reached into his pocket, pulling out a velvet box. Inside was a stunning, emerald-cut diamond ring. Damon, Alina whispered, This is the engagement ring you should have had from the start. Alina Rose Martinez King, I know we're already married, but will you marry me again? Will you choose me every day? Tears blurred her vision as she held out her hand. Yes, yes to everything. Damon slid the ring beside her wedding band and kissed her. The ring symbolized not crisis, but choice, a daily promise of love and partnership. When should we plan our real wedding? Damon asked. Soon. I want the world to know I didn't marry you out of desperation. I married you because you're the love of my life. That evening, they called their families. Elena's mother wept with joy, and Damon's parents warmly welcomed her into the family. Later, under the moonlight on their beach, Alina admired the sparkle of her new ring. You know what makes this the best love story? She teased. What's that? We fell in love after we were already married. How many couples can say that? Damon laughed, pulling her close. Not backwards, Alina corrected softly. Just in our own perfect way. Fighting for love shortened approximately 800 words 6 months into their marriage. Lena and Damon had settled into a rhythm. The lawsuit was behind them. The media frenzy had calmed, and they were planning a spring renewal ceremony. Everything seemed perfect except Lena's family still struggled to accept her new life. The issue exploded one Sunday at her parents' house. Alina had hoped to introduce Damon to more relatives. But dinner turned tense when Uncle Roberto muttered about Damon buying his way into the family. That's enough, Lena snapped. Damon has been nothing but respectful, and I won't tolerate insults. Her father, Cardo, tried to smooth things over, but her cousin Miguel added, Alina, from the outside, it looks strange. You marry a billionaire you barely knew, move into his mansion, wear diamonds. Can you blame us for wondering if you've forgotten where you come from? Tears stung her eyes. I haven't forgotten anything. I still teach, still care about my students and my family. The only difference is I'm married to someone who believes in me. Finally, Damon spoke, his tone calm but firm. Alina hasn't changed to fit my world. She's changed mine. She's made me better. At that, Abuela Rosa stood, placed a hand on Damon's shoulder, and declared, This man loves our Alina. I see it in how he listens, how he respects us even when we don't deserve it. He is welcome in this family, and anyone who disagrees will answer to me. The room shifted instantly. In the Martinez family, Abuela's word was final. Later on the drive home, Alina whispered, I'm sorry. They're protective. They love you, Damon said gently. It would worry me if they didn't question how we began. She studied him. Does it bother you? That people will always wonder if I married you for money. Sometimes, he admitted. Not because I doubt us, but because I hate that you bear those doubts. You deserve to be seen as I see you, a brilliant, compassionate woman who chose me. Her voice softened. And what do you see when you look at me? I see the woman who made Victoria Sterling back down, who inspires her students, who makes me laugh after brutal meetings, who pushes me to be better every day. Tears filled Elena's eyes. And I see the man who saved me, who learned my abuela's recipes just to honor my traditions, who married a stranger to protect her dignity and turned it into real love. They sat in silence, hands intertwined, until Damon said quietly, "I've been thinking about our renewal ceremony. What if instead of a grand society event, we held a celebration that honored both of us? The church for the vows, but the reception in your neighborhood's community center with local vendors. Your abuela's cooking, mariachi music. A real community wedding." Elena blinked back tears. "That would cost a fortune and most of it would go to my side." "Exactly," Damon said. "Because your community is part of you, and I want them to see I value what shaped you." She kissed him fiercely. "Have I mentioned I'm completely crazy about you?" "Not in the last few hours," he teased. Over the following weeks, Damon proved his commitment, diving into every detail: flowers from her neighborhood, customs from her culture, even asking Abuela about traditions. The most moving moment came when he formally asked Ricardo for her hand. "Mr. Martinez," Damon said respectfully, "I know I married Elena under unusual circumstances. I'd like your blessing for our renewal ceremony and your permission to love her for the rest of my life." Ricardo studied him. "What makes you think you deserve my daughter?" "Honestly, I don't," Damon replied. "But I'll spend every day trying to be worthy of her love." Ricardo finally smiled. "That's the right answer, mijo. You have my blessing." The spring ceremony was everything Elena had dreamed of. St. Michael's Cathedral overflowed with both families, now united. At the East LA Community Center reception, mariachi music filled the air, her abuela's cooking was served, and laughter echoed into the night. During their first dance, Damon whispered, "This is what our wedding should have been." "No," Elena whispered back. "It's perfect, because of everything we went through. We earned this." Later, alone on the patio under the stars, Damon asked, "Any regrets?" "Only one," Elena teased, "that we can't fall in love for the first time again." He spun her gently. "Then we'll just keep surprising each other." "Deal," she said, kissing him. "I love you, Damon King, and I love you, Elena King. Thank you for saving me." "No," she whispered, smiling. "Thank you for saving me first." Forever begins a year after their courthouse wedding, and 6 months after their renewal ceremony. Lena and Damon had settled into the kind of married life that felt both comfortable and exciting. Elena had been promoted to head of the art department at her school, and Damon had successfully expanded his company's focus to include environmental sustainability, projects that Elena had inspired him to pursue. They were having breakfast on their deck, watching the sunrise over the ocean, when Damon set down his coffee cup with the kind of deliberate movement that meant he had something important to say. "Elena, there's something we need to discuss." Elena looked up from the student portfolios she was reviewing. "Should I be worried by your tone?" "Not worried, but well. This is important." Damon reached across the table and took her hand. "We've been married for a year now, and we've never really talked about what we want our future to look like. Where we want to be in 5 years, 10 years? Elena closed the portfolio and gave him her full attention. "What brought this on?" "Yesterday, when I was at the office, my assistant mentioned that she's expecting her first baby. Watching how excited she was got me thinking about what we want our family to look like." Elena felt her heart skip. They had touched on the topic of children briefly in their early conversations, but it had always felt like something for the distant future. Now, a year into their marriage, it suddenly seemed much more immediate. "What do you want our family to look like?" Elena asked softly. "Honestly, I want everything with you. I want children who have your creativity and compassion. I want to teach them to ride bikes and help them with homework and embarrass them at school events. I want family vacations and birthday parties and all the beautiful chaos that comes with raising kids." Together, Elena smiled. "That sounds wonderful. And a little terrifying. The terrifying part is what makes it exciting," Damon said. "Elena, I've never felt ready for anything important in my life until after it happened. I wasn't ready to take over my father's company. I wasn't ready to marry you, and I won't be ready to be a father. But with you as my partner, I know we can figure it out together." Alina stood up and walked around the table to sit in Damon's lap. "Damon King, are you asking me if I want to have babies with you?" "I'm asking if you want to start trying," he said, his arms tightening around her. "I'm asking if you're ready to take the next big leap with me." Alina kissed him softly. "Yes. To all of it. Yes, to babies and chaos and figuring it out as we go. Yes, to building something beautiful together." 8 months later, Alina was grading papers in the nursery they had spent weeks preparing when she felt the first contraction. By evening, she and Damon were at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, holding hands through the intensity of labor and marveling at how their lives were about to change again. Sophia. Alina King was born just after midnight, weighing 7 pounds and 2 ounces, with dark hair like her mother's and green eyes like her father's. When the nurse placed their daughter in Damon's arms for the first time, Alina watched her strong, confident husband become completely undone with wonder and love. "She's perfect," he whispered, tears streaming down his face. "Alina, look what we made together." Alina, exhausted but exhilarated, smiled at the sight of her husband falling in love with their daughter. "She's going to have you wrapped around her little finger." "Absolutely," Damon agreed without hesitation, "and I couldn't be happier about it." The first few months of parenthood were exactly as chaotic and wonderful as they had expected. Alina took maternity leave from teaching, and Damon arranged to work from home as much as possible, so they could navigate the steep learning curve of new parenthood together. Alina's single quotes. Favorite moments were the quiet early morning feedings when it was just the three of them. Soft light filtering through the nursery windows as Sophia nursed peacefully and Damon dozed in the rocking chair nearby. During one of these peaceful moments, when Sophia was about 3 months old, Alina found herself thinking about how dramatically her life had changed in just 2 years. 2 years ago, she had been planning a wedding to a man who would abandon her. Now she was married to her best friend, living in a house by the ocean, raising a daughter with eyes like sea glass and a smile that could light up any room. "What are you thinking about?" Damon asked softly from the rocking chair, his eyes still closed but somehow aware of her contemplation. "Just how different everything is from what I thought it would be. How much better." Damon opened his eyes and looked at her with the kind of love that still took her breath away after all this time. "Do you ever miss the life you originally planned?" Alina looked down at Sophia, who had finished nursing and was gazing up at her mother with calm, serious eyes. "Never. Not for a single second. That life would have been safe and predictable. But this life is an adventure, and we're just getting started," Damon said, getting up to join them on the love seat. "Sophia King is going to grow up knowing that love can appear when you least expect it. That sometimes the best things happen when your original plans fall apart." Alina leaned against Damon's shoulder as he wrapped his arms around both his girls. "She's also going to grow up knowing that her father is the kind of man who steps forward when someone needs him, even when it's inconvenient or complicated, and that her mother is the kind of woman who can build something beautiful from the worst day of her life." As Sophia dozed in Alina's arms, her parents sat together in comfortable silence, watching their daughter sleep and thinking about all the adventures still to come. First steps and first words, first days of school and family vacations, teenage drama and college applications, and eventually, perhaps, watching Sophia find her own unexpected love story. "Damon," Alina said softly, "do you think we'll always be this happy?" "I think we'll have challenges and difficult times like every couple does," he replied honestly. "But I also think we've already proven that we can handle whatever comes our way. We fell in love after we got married, Alina. If we can make that work, we can make anything work." Alina smiled and kissed the top of Sophia's head, breathing in that sweet baby smell that made everything else in the world seem less important. "I love our story. I love our story too. But even more, I love that we're still writing it together, outside their Manhattan Beach home." The ocean waves continued their eternal rhythm against the shore, the same sound that had provided the soundtrack to their first real conversation as husband and wife, their first fight, their first "I love you," and now their first quiet moments as a family of 3. Alina Rose Martinez had walked down the aisle as an abandoned bride, But she had found something infinitely better than the fairy tale she had originally planned. She had found a love story that was entirely her own, built on choice and commitment and the daily decision to choose each other over and over again. And as she sat in their daughter's nursery, surrounded by the life they had created together, Alina knew that the best chapters of their story were still to come. The abandoned bride had become the cherished wife, devoted mother, and the woman who had learned that sometimes the most beautiful love stories begin, the most unexpected plot twists. Their fairy tale was real, imperfect, and absolutely perfect for them. Hash left alone at the aisle, but a billionaire stepped forward and claimed her as his bride.